so half of your bum should be on the block or on a book, half of it should be rolling forward, okay? So you're rolling so that half of your bum is in the front of the block, and that makes you upright in the position, so you're able to keep your spine upright as much as you can. Cross your legs in front of you. We're just warming up, so you don't want to be overstretching at this point. And now we're going to try to basically engage the core muscles by engaging the three bandhas. And there's three areas: the pelvic floor, the lower abdomen, the chest, and the throat area. So to engage the pelvic floor, you need to clench the bum hole and suck the belly in. So you're doing this nipping and tucking up from the inside. And then open the chest, tuck the chin under, so you're engaging the throat bandha, okay? And then as you're keeping upright, working on the core muscles, place your hands wherever they're comfortable on the legs and start breathing through the nose only. And also start lengthening the breath, so it's the same length on the inhale as it is on the exhale. And you're aiming to keep your breath nice and steady throughout the rest of the class, aiming to do 6 breaths per minute. So if you're inhaling to the count of 5 and exhaling to the count of 5, you'll be able to achieve that, okay? So inhaling 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And carry on at this pace. And interlace the fingers in front of you. Stretch the arms so that you're looking at your palms. On the next inhale, push the palms away from you, and on the exhale, bring your hands up towards the ceiling, rolling the shoulder back and pressing the belly button towards the spine. So when you're bringing the arms up, you'll notice that your belly comes out. So start bringing it back in, working on the core muscles and keeping your arms as straight as you can, so you're stretching the sides of the body. On the next inhale, keep your left hand up towards the ceiling, right hand down towards the floor. Inhale, stretch the left side. Exhale, lean towards your right. Bending the right elbow, looking down towards your left armpit. And keep your arm as straight as you can, grounding down through the sitting bones, so you're creating a stretch onto your left side of the body. On the next inhale, come back to the center, left hand by the block, right hand up towards the ceiling. Inhale, stretch the right side. Exhale, bending the left elbow, lean towards your left, looking towards your right armpit, keeping your right arm as straight as you can, so that you're having a nice and long stretch onto your right side of the body this time. And then on the next inhale, come back to the center, right hand behind you, left hand over the right knee. Inhale, suck the belly in, lengthen the spine without leaning on your arms. You're using your arms on the exhale to twist towards your right, chin parallel to the floor, and you're looking towards your right shoulder. Inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. On the inhale, you're lengthening the spine. On the exhale, you're twisting towards your right. And on the next inhale, come back to the center. On the exhale, left hand behind you, right hand over the left knee. Inhale, suck the belly in, lengthen the spine. Exhale, lean towards your left, chin parallel to the floor, and you're looking towards your left shoulder. And then on the next inhale, come back to the center. Get rid of the block, but place it somewhere where you can grab it throughout the class. Come on your fours. Hands directly underneath the shoulders, shoulder width apart, knees directly underneath your hips, hip width apart, top of the feet on the mat. On the next inhale, you're looking forward, curve the back towards the floor, push the bum out, relax the belly. On the exhale, you're starting to curve the back towards the ceiling, pushing the bum towards your hands, contracting the abdominals, looking down towards the knees. Inhale, look forward, curve the back towards the floor, push the bum out. Exhale, curve the back towards the ceiling, pushing the bum towards your hands, looking down towards your knees. And do it 2 more times, following your breath, while I'm reading you the disclaimer. So when participating in any exercise or exercise program, there is the possibility of physical injury. If you voluntarily engage in this class, you agree to do so at your own risk and assume more risk of injury to yourself. Okay, come back into a neutral position. Tuck your toes under on the inhale. On the exhale, push your bum up towards the ceiling, looking down towards your feet. On the inhale, you're bending the right knee, transferring the weight onto the left leg, opening up the back of the left leg. On the exhale, you're bending the left knee, transferring the weight onto the right. And do it a couple of times, nice and slowly, following your breath. And then on the next inhale, look towards your hands, bend the knees, start walking your feet towards your hands. Once you've reached the hands, keep your feet hip-width apart. Grab hold of the opposite elbow. Inhale, look forward, lengthen the spine. Exhale, start with the knees bent, fold forward, let go of the head. So you're pointing the top of the head down towards the floor. And then nod your head a couple of times. If you feel like your upper part of the body is loose, then you can straighten the legs, but you're really wanting to let go of the upper part of the body in this pose. Turn your head right and left, so you're still trying to loosen up the neck, pointing the top of the head down towards the floor. And then very gently start bringing the upper body towards the right leg, and then towards the left, swinging from one side to the other. And very gently on the next inhale, come back into the center, let go of the hands on the floor. And then on the exhale, tuck your chin under, bend the knees, and come up into a standing position, head last to come up. Come to the top of the mat in a mountain pose, so the big toes are touching. Distribute the weight so that the weight goes into the middle of the feet, not leaning too much on the heels nor on the toes. And then pull the kneecaps up. Now we want to re-engage that lower bandha, so we want to tilt the pelvis under until you're feeling pulling into the lower abdominal area. Pull the belly button towards the spine, suck the belly in, open the chest, tuck the chin under, roll your shoulders back, hands by your sides with the fingers pointing down towards the floor. Keep on pulling the kneecaps up and tilting your pelvis under, feeling that the abdominals are working and you're standing up. Now, when you're doing the poses today, go into 70% of your stretching ability, yeah? So you don't want to overstretch and never bounce into the pose. You want to get slowly into that pose and then staying there without bouncing. Place your hands in front of your chest, close your eyes for a second, set an intention for today's class, and also allow yourself to not be too critical about yourself. So don't judge yourself while you're doing this class, just enjoy the class and allow yourself to relax rather than judge yourself. Open your eyes. We're going to do 3 sun salutations. The first one we're going to do together at a basic level, and then I'm going to show you something that you need to do while you're doing the plank, and then you can do the other 2 at your own pace, okay? Inhale, bring your hands up towards the ceiling, look up at the hands, suck the belly in. On the exhale, you're folding forward at the hips, placing your hands either on the shin, the ankle or the mat. On the next inhale, press through the hands, look forward, lengthen the spine. Exhale, bend the knees, hands on the mat, step your right leg out into a lunge, left leg to meet into a high plank. We're coming into the plank, you're on your tiptoes, you're pushing your heels away from you, pushing the pelvis forward, bringing the shoulders in above the wrists. Squeeze the glutes, pull the kneecaps up, suck the belly in, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, knees on the floor. Leading with the chest, looking forward, you're rubbing the elbows by your side, bringing the chest down to the floor. Top of the feet on the mat, hands underneath the shoulders. On the next inhale, peel the chest off the floor, roll the shoulders away from you, look forward. Elbows are bent. Exhale, tuck your toes under, coming to your hands and knees. Bring the seat towards your heels and you're coming up into a downward dog. Stepping your feet forward, bringing the feet hip-width apart. And then try to bring the heels down towards the floor. You're looking down towards your feet. Inhale into the count of 5, exhale into the count of 5. Now, if your heels are far too high up, you can bend the knees, push the hips up,
and then try to bring the heels down again onto the floor. Inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. We're working on the upper back today, and we're going to do a couple of poses here today standing, and then the last part of the class we're going to do 3 or 4 movements, just staying there for 3 or 4 minutes, okay? On the next inhale, you're looking towards your hands, bend the knees, start walking your feet towards your hands. Once you've reached the hands, keep your feet together. Exhale, you're folding forward. Let go of the head. Inhale, come up a little bit, bring your hands up towards the ceiling, and exhale, hands by your sides. Okay, so have a look at me when we do the plank. When you're doing the plank, you want to not roll the shoulders forward, you want to roll them back. So when you're coming down from a plank into a lower plank, when you're here, you want to roll the shoulder back and look forward. So when you're coming down, your elbows are rubbing down and you're coming here. So you're not here, you're here, okay? If you want to do it with the knees down, you do the same thing. So you roll the shoulder back. So you need to roll the shoulders back, rub the elbows down, and you're coming down, okay? So you're working that the chest is forward and you're looking forward rather than turning down like this. And this is gonna help you a lot when you're practicing yoga, that you don't get any injuries on your shoulders. Okay, inhale, bring your hands up towards the ceiling. Exhale, you're folding forward. Inhale, press through the hands, look forward, lengthen the spine. Exhale, bend the knees, hands on the mat at a step or jump into a high plank. Inhale, set the plank. Exhale at a low plank or knees to the floor. Inhale, up dog, and exhale, down dog. Adjust the legs as you did for the first pose. Now we're really working on trying to open up the upper back. So the hands are as wide as the shoulders, wrists in line with the top of the mat. Roll the shoulders back, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and keeping the hands where they are, you're pushing your hands away from you, so you're really feeling that you're opening up the upper back. Pointing the top of the head down towards the floor, looking down towards your feet. And now tilt your pelvis under slightly so you're not overarching your lower back. Last breath here, inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. On the next inhale, you're looking towards your hands at a step or jump to the top of the mat. Exhale, you're folding forward. Inhale, engage the core, bring your hands up towards the ceiling, and exhale, hands by your sides. Last one. Inhale, bring your hands up towards the ceiling. Exhale, you're folding forward. Inhale, press through the hands, look forward. Exhale, hands on the mat at a step or jump into the high plank. Set the planks, push the heels away from you, squeeze the glutes, push the pelvis forward, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Look forward on the exhale at the knees to the floor or hovering up. On the next inhale, push the body through the hands, up dog, and exhale, down dog. Now set all the elements together, focus on the upper back. So you really want to feel the stretch in between the shoulder blades, really. Inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. Roll the shoulders back, squeeze the shoulder blades together. As you're keeping the shoulders like this, when you're pushing your hands away from you, you will feel quite a pull into your upper back. Pointing the top of the head down towards the floor. Last breath here. Inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. On the next inhale, you're looking forward at a step or jump to the top of the mat. And exhale, folding forward, letting go of the head. Inhale, come up a little bit, engage the core, bring your hands up towards the ceiling, and exhale, hands by your sides. Make sure you've got a pillow next to you, which we're going to use towards the second part of the class, and either a towel big enough that you can roll up and put in between your shoulder blades when you're doing the last pose, okay? Grab hold of the block, and you're placing it on in between the feet. Start with the feet together as close as you can to the block, hands on your hips, On the next inhale, you're stepping the right foot out, 2/3 of the mat, turning the toes towards the top right corner of the mat. The right leg is straight. On the next inhale, you're bending the left leg, and then with your left hand, you're placing your hands either on the block, inside the left foot, or you're placing it directly onto the mat. On the next inhale, turn the torso towards your right, and then you're making contact between your left arm and your left knee, creating a tension there that helps you to turn towards the right. Bring your right arm up towards the ceiling, looking either straight ahead or towards your right hand. In and into the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. Again, we're focusing in the space in between the shoulder blades today, okay? So roll that right shoulder back, squeeze that right shoulder blade towards the spine, and then creating that tension between the left knee and the left arm. You're sort of turning the torso towards your right, keeping the chest pointing towards the right side. And then on the next inhale, look down towards the floor. Exhale, bring your hands parallel to the floor. Inhale, hands on the hips. Careful when you're stepping forward. And exhale, you're stepping to the front of the mat. We're going to do it on the other side. On the next inhale, step the left foot out, 2/3 of the mat, turning the toes towards the top left corner of the mat. The left leg is straight, the heel is on the floor. On the next inhale, bend the front leg, right hand on the inside of the right foot, either on the block or directly on the mat. Now, create that tension between the right knee and the right arm. And then on the next inhale, turn the torso towards your left, bringing your left arm up towards the ceiling. You're trying to create a T between the right arm and the left arm, with the chest turning towards your left as much as you can. You're either looking straight ahead or towards your left hand. And then on the next inhale, roll the left shoulder back, squeezing the shoulder blade towards the spine, making sure the hand is still pointing up towards the ceiling. So as you're doing these little movements, you should really feel that you're really focusing into the upper back, the space in between the shoulder blades. In and into the count of 5, and exhaling to the count of 5. And then on the next inhale, look down towards the floor. Exhale, you're bringing your hands parallel to the floor. Inhale, hands on the hips, and exhale, you're stepping to the front of the mat. Give yourself a little bit of a shake. Okay, stand with the feet hip width apart. As you're stepping back, you want to maintain that stance of hip width apart, okay? So you're stepping with the right foot, quite a long stance, and you want to make sure that the right foot is further out than the left. You should be able to square the hips towards the front, and you want to make sure that the toes are always pointing towards the front, so when you're turning towards your left, that toes don't turn in, okay? That works on this hip. Now bend the front knee and sit in between the two legs. You want to push that heel away from you, the right heel, so that right leg is straight at all times. On the next inhale, turn the torso towards your left. Bring your arms either side of the body, forming a T, pointing the thumbs up towards the ceiling, sucking the belly in, sitting in between the legs, working on rolling the shoulders back, squeezing the shoulder blades together, feeling that stretch and that pull into the space in between the shoulder blades. In and into the count of 5. Make sure that right toes are pointing forward, the right foot is not turning in. Last breath here. In and into the count of 5. Exhaling to the count of 5. On the next inhale, bring your hands towards your waist, look forward, and exhale, step forward, shaking your legs a little bit. And we're going to do it on the other side. So feet hip width apart. As you're stepping back, maintain that hip width stance. You're on the tiptoes of the left foot, and you're pushing that left heel away from you, keeping your leg as straight as you can. Bend the front leg, sitting between the legs. On the next inhale, suck the belly in, turn the torso towards your right. Make sure that left toes are still pointing towards the front. And then on the next inhale, bring your hands up so your arms are parallel to the floor, thumbs facing up towards the ceiling, rolling the shoulder back. And as you're squeezing the shoulder blades together, you're turning the torso towards your right. So you're really feeling the tension into between your shoulder blades. In and into the count of 5, sitting between the legs. Exhaling to the count of 5. You're either looking forward or towards your right hand, whatever is more comfortable for your neck. In and into the count of 5, and exhaling to the count of 5. On the next inhale, start looking forward, hands on the hips, and exhale, you step into the front of the mat. Give yourself a bit of a shake. Okay, so now you're keeping your block on the outside of the left foot. Feet together, hands on the hips. You're stepping with the right foot halfway down the mat. So a shorter stance than the one that you did before. Again, you still should be able to square the hips towards the front. So step that right foot out a little bit. That's also better for the balance, okay? So you should be basically being able to pull the left hip back with ease. If not, step that right foot out. Hands on the hips. Now we're keeping the legs straight with this pose. You're turning the toes of the right foot towards the top right corner. And then on the next inhale, pull the kneecaps up, making sure you're keeping your legs straight. On the exhale, you're leaning forward. So you're trying to create some space between the belly and the thigh. And then on the next inhale, you're placing your right hand on the block. If this is too low, you can bring it up like this. Or if you're finding that uncomfortable, you're just placing your right hand on the outside of the left leg. And then on the next inhale, turn the torso towards your left. Now you've got the option of keeping your left hand on your hip. You can also bring your arm behind it so that you're really opening up that left shoulder. Otherwise, you can bring your left hand up towards the ceiling. Now remember this 70% stretch, okay? So you don't want to push yourself too much that you can cause yourself an injury. Just be kind to yourself and see where you're at today. And perhaps you might need to be like this on this side of the body, but perhaps you can also bring your left arm up towards the ceiling on the other side. It really depends on how you're feeling today. You're either looking straight ahead or towards your left hand, making sure you're still pulling the kneecaps up. In and into the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. On the next inhale, look down towards the floor. Bring your left hand onto your hip, turn the body towards the front, place your hands, the right hand on the hip, and you're coming up. Step into the front of the mat, giving yourself a little bit of a shake. Block on the outside of the right foot. Actually, let's start with the feet hip width apart so that we're making sure that we've still got that stance of hip width apart when we're stepping back with the left foot. You're stepping back halfway down the mat, turning the toes towards the top left corner of the mat. Pull that right hip back so the hips should be square to the front. And then on the next inhale, pull the kneecaps up so you're keeping the legs nice and straight. On the exhale, you're leaning forward at the hips. And then you want to place your hand either on the block on the outside of the right foot or directly on the floor. But as we're working on the upper back, I suggest that you give yourself a little bit of a space. So even if normally you're touching the mat, come up a little bit. And then on the next inhale, turning the torso towards your right. You're keeping your right arm on the hip if you want, or you can slide that right hand towards the left hip, opening the torso towards the right. Now, as long as you're feeling the stretch in between the shoulder blades, you've got the right technique and also you're reaching a good stretch, okay? If you want, you can bring your right arm up towards the ceiling, palms facing away from you. On the inhale, you're lengthening the torso. On the exhale, you're turning the torso towards your right. looking either straight ahead or towards your right hand. In and into the count of 5, and exhale into the count of 5. On the next inhale, look down towards the floor, right hand on the hip, and exhale, turn the torso towards the front. Inhale, come all the way up, hands on the hips, and exhale, you step into the front of the mat. Give yourself a little bit of a shake. Okay. Come to the top of the mat. Both feet are touching. You're placing the block on the outside of the left foot. Hands on the hips. You're taking quite a long stance with the right foot. So 2/3 of the mat, turning the toes towards the top right corner of the mat. So the right leg is straight. We're bending the front leg. We've got 2 options here. So we're going to do a twist, okay? So either you're placing your hands in front of your chest and you're hooking the right elbow on the outside of the left knee, like this, or you're bringing your right hand on the block outside, and then you keep your left hand on the hip, turning the torso towards your left, okay? So I'm gonna go do the one with the hands in front of my chest. Bend the front leg and you're hooking the right elbow on the outside of the left knee. And then your hands should come to the front of your chest, so you're using that to sort of turn the torso towards your left. We're not staying here for long. In and into the count of 5, and exhale into the count of 5. One more breath here. And then on the next inhale, look down towards the floor, bring the torso down, facing down. Exhale, come all the way up, hands on the hips, and you'll step into the front of the mat. Okay, we're gonna do the other version. So we're bringing the block on the outside of the right foot. This time I'm gonna do the first version. So hands on the hips, you're stepping with the left foot 2/3 of the mat, turning the toes towards the top left corner of the mat. On the next inhale, bend the front leg. You're placing your left hand on the outside of the left foot, and you're trying to touch the left arm with the left knee, with the right knee, and then turn the torso towards your right, straight ahead, looking straight ahead, and really squeezing the shoulder blades together. So you're really feeling that there's some workout happening into the space in between the shoulder blades. Inhale into the count of 5, and exhale into the count of 5. Obviously you can do the version with the hands in front of your chest. Last breath here. And on the next inhale, looking down towards the floor, turn the torso towards the mat, and then exhale, coming all the way up, step into the front of the mat. Give yourself a little bit of a shake. Okay, so we're coming into our hands and knees, okay? And we're gonna start to slow it down. So we're gonna stay 3 minutes in each pose. At the moment, I'm just gonna do a little bit longer, or a little bit shorter on this, and then as we're lying down, we're gonna do a little bit longer, okay? So you're coming into your hands and knees. Knees are hip width apart. The top of the feet are on the mat. And then you're walking your left hand so that it's right underneath your chest, in the middle of your chest. And then on the next inhale, lift your right hand up towards the ceiling, turning the torso towards your right. If you're finding this difficult, you can bend the hand so that you're bringing your right arm behind your back and try to bring the hand towards your right hip, your left hip. Inhale into the count of 5, and exhale into the count of 5. On the next inhale, look down towards the floor. You're feeding your right arm underneath your left, placing your right shoulder onto the floor, right side of the head onto the floor, bringing your left arm up towards the ceiling. One more breath here, inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. On the next inhale, bring your left hand down towards the mat, and then you're coming back into your fours. We're gonna do it on the other side. So we're gonna walk the right hand into the middle of the chest, and then on the next inhale, bring your left arm up towards the ceiling, palms facing away from you, squeezing the shoulder blades together. It's actually quite difficult to do this pose. So if you're struggling with that, just turn the left shoulder and the chest towards your left, bringing your left hand behind your back. And then on the next inhale, looking down towards the floor, feed the left hand underneath the right arm, placing the left shoulder, left side of the head down towards the floor. The palm of the left hand is facing up towards the ceiling, and then you're bringing your right arm up towards the ceiling. You can also bring that right arm behind your back, trying to grab hold with your fingers of your left thigh. Opening that right shoulder, opening towards the side. And then on the next inhale, bring your right hand down towards the floor, come back in your fours. And you're coming now into a child pose, so you're sitting on your heels and fold forward, coming into child pose. This is an active child pose, so you're coming on the tiptoes, on the tip of your fingers, sit on your heels, and then you're resting your forehead down onto the floor, walking your fingers slightly away from you, but rolling the shoulder back. So you're really feeling that tension in between the shoulders and the shoulder blades. And then on the next inhale, look up, place your hands on the mat, and you're starting to slide the hands away from you as you're bringing your bum up towards the ceiling. You're trying to brush the chin towards the mat, and you're trying to bring the chest towards the mat. So you're looking forward. Your chin is on the mat, and you're bringing your bum up. So you're really feeling the stretch and the pulling onto your upper back and in the spacing between the shoulder blades. So we're gonna stay here for a couple of breaths. Inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. Very gently start bringing your bum back down onto your heels, and very gently start walking your hands towards the body as you're standing up, sitting on your heels. Okay, now bring your bum either side of the feet, bringing your legs forward. This is when you might want to use a pillow. So grab hold of a pillow. We're sitting upright. So basically we're doing the staff pose to start with, and then we're gonna fold forward with a slight twist, okay? So remove the flesh away from your buttock. If you're finding difficult also to lean forward, you need to use the block underneath your bum. And also, as you're folding forward, you can also bend the knees, okay? As long as you're starting to fold at the hips. So you don't want to do this, you want to do this, okay? So you can also use a pillow in between the belly and the thighs. Now, on the next inhale, start engaging the core muscles. So You're squeezing the bum hole, sucking the belly in, opening the chest, tucking the chin under. On the next inhale, bring your hands up towards the ceiling. We're gonna stay here for a couple of minutes, so you need to make yourself comfortable. If you need a pillow, use the pillow. On the next inhale, you're folding forward at the hips. When you're finding that your abdominals are starting to go, then relax into the pose, grab hold of anything, any part of the leg that feels comfortable, okay? And then you can roll up the pillow to make it comfortable if you want to. And then you're placing your left hand on the outside of the right foot. The right hand comes behind you. And you can also use the pillow to rest your head in there. You can use a couple of pillows if you want to. And then you just relax in here. In and into the count of 5. Exhale into the count of 5. You can also bring your right hand behind on the side. It doesn't matter. You're just trying to open slightly towards the right. Make sure you're pointing the toes up towards the ceiling. Deepening the breath. Last 2 breaths here. Inhale into the count of 5. Exhale into the count of 5. And then on the next inhale, come back to the center and come all the way up. Do everything very gently so that you're supporting your lower back. And then we're gonna do it on the other side. So on the next inhale, suck the belly in, open the chest, tuck the chin under. Bring your arms up towards the ceiling, and on the exhale, you're leaning forward at the hips. And then rest your arms wherever they're comfortable on the back. Tuck your chin under slightly so your neck is nice and long. And then if you need to adjust yourself with an extra pillow or just doubling your pillow, you're placing your right hand on the outside of the left foot. The left hand comes out to the side. And then you can turn the head towards your left and gently turn the torso towards your left. Deepen the breath, in and into the count of 5, exhale into the count of 5. Last 2 breaths here. In and into the count of 5. Exhale into the count of 5. And then on the next inhale, start turning towards the legs and come all the way up very gently. Get rid of the get rid of the pillow. We're gonna need it for the next one, okay? So on the next inhale, hug the right knee towards the chest and bring the right foot on the outside of the left leg. Okay, so now you're sucking the belly in on the inhale. Bring your right arm behind you, left arm up towards the ceiling. You want to create a space between the belly and the thigh so that you can turn the torso towards your right on the exhale and turning so that your chin is parallel to the floor and you're looking towards your right shoulder. Now again, use 70% of the stretch. You can also bring your left elbow on the outside of the right knee. Try not to lean on your arms, but you're using the core muscle on the inhale to lengthen the spine, and on the exhale, you're turning towards your right. Now, as we're staying here for a couple of minutes, you're gonna feel afterwards that you've got quite a lot of an awareness of your upper back. So make sure you're not overstretching here. but make sure that you're still working on the core muscles. On the inhale, you're lengthening the spine, and on the exhale, you're turning slightly towards your right. Make sure your left leg is still activated by pointing the toes up towards the ceiling. And reconnect with the breath. Inhaling to the count of 5. Exhaling to the count of 5. Last 2 breaths here. Inhaling to the count of 5. Exhaling to the count of 5. Inhaling to the count of 5. Exhaling to the count of 5. Very gently on the next inhale, keep your legs as they are. Turn the torso towards the front. And now bring your left hand behind you, the right hand arm over the right knee. Turn slightly towards your left for the next 2 breaths. And then very gently come back to the center. Hug the right knee towards the chest and release it down onto the floor. We're going to do it on the other side. Hug the left knee towards your chest. Bring the left foot on the outside of the right leg. Make sure you're activating the right leg by pointing the toes up towards the ceiling. Now, create a space between the thigh and the belly. Suck the belly in, left hand behind you, right hand up towards the ceiling. On the next inhale, lengthen the spine. On the exhale, hug the knee towards the chest. Now, you become quite aware of how much stretch you're getting with the other pose. So, regulate the intensity of the stretch. On the inhale, lengthen the spine. On the exhale, turn towards your left. Chin parallel to the floor, and you're looking towards your left shoulder. You can also still just hug the knee towards the chest. And make sure that you're really working on lengthening the spine. So when you're twisting towards your left, you're really targeting that space in between the shoulder blades. Reconnect with the breath. Focus your attention onto the space in between the shoulder blades and allow them to open up and relax. Inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. Last 2 breaths here. Inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. Inhaling to the count of 5 and exhaling to the count of 5. On the next inhale, very gently turn back to the front. Now place your right hand behind you, your left arm over in front of the left knee, and gently turn towards your right. One more breath here. Inhaling to the count of 5, exhaling to the count of 5. And then very gently coming back to the center, hug the left knee towards the chest and release it. Now come into the middle of the mat. Hug the knees towards your chest. Place your hands in front of your knees and roll yourself back. Hugging the knees to the chest, chin to chest. Staying here for a breath or 2. And then for the next pose, we're going to turn our body towards the left, okay? So you've got your left arm behind you with the palm facing up towards the ceiling. You can also use a pillow You also might need 2 pillows here, one for the front here and one for your head, okay? So you can also use the block. Now, what you're gonna do with your right hand, you're gonna bring, so you're basically in this position, and then you're bringing your left leg back so that you can grab hold with your right hand of the left foot, okay? So that comes down here. And then you're bringing your right leg forward slightly. If you're finding this difficult, you can use a pillow underneath the right knee, or you can also bring your right foot up, okay? And then now you're turning towards the front, so you're basically facing up towards the ceiling. And you're looking up towards the ceiling. If you cannot grab hold of the foot, don't worry. Try to bring the foot as close as you can towards the hand. And you're still trying to turn towards the ceiling. And the foot can be up, whatever is more comfortable for you. You can also rest this right leg onto a pillow. Breathing into the area in between the shoulder blades. Deepen the breath. Last 2 breaths here. In and into the count of 5. Exhale into the count of 5. In and into the count of 5. And exhale into the count of 5. On the next inhale, first release the right hand. Turn the torso towards the front, the side. And then we're going to swap over onto the other side. So you line onto your right side with the right arm stretched in front of you, palm facing up towards the ceiling. Your knees are bent, and then try to kick that right leg back towards, so the foot is kicking towards the glutes, so that you can grab hold of the foot. And now your left leg can come forward with the knee touching down towards the floor, or with a pillow, a couple of pillows underneath that leg. Otherwise you can also bring the leg up. And now turn the torso so that your torso is facing up towards the ceiling. Deepen the breath. Focus on any area that feels tight as you're lying here, and just direct the breath to that area, and also bring your awareness in between the shoulder blades and just allow them to open up. As you bring in your awareness and your focus onto those areas, you will see that the tension changes. And maybe you can move to another area, either below or further up. In and into the count of 5. Exhale into the count of 5. And then on the next inhale, start turning again onto the right side. Release the left hand and then roll yourself onto your back. You can get rid of the pillow for the time being.
Hug the knees towards the chest. And now bring your knees towards the right side. Bring your left arm out towards the sides, turning to look towards your left palm. Try to keep both shoulders on the mat. And then very gently look up towards the ceiling, bring the knees back towards the center, hug the knees towards the chest, bring your right arm out, bring your knees towards the left, looking towards your left hand, your right hand. And very gently start bringing your knees back to the center. Hug the knees to the chest and start rocking back and forward. Okay, so we're gonna come into the last pose, which is the Shavasana. What you want to do, you want to create a space. So basically you want to create a padding that you can place in between your shoulder blades. I've got this pillow that works just absolutely fine. So you put it on here, and then you want to make sure that even your head is supported. Otherwise, use another pillow for your head, okay? So as you're lying down, you're placing that pillow in between the shoulder blades, and then you want to make sure that your head is supported as well, okay? And make sure that you're rolling it so that the pillow is sitting in between the shoulder blades. If you need to get hold of a pillow or a towel, just do so. Make sure your head is supported, okay? Okay, so now hopefully everybody is settled now. And bring your legs as wide as the mat. Flopping your feet to the sides. Tilt your pelvis under, and if you feel like you need support on your lower back, you can use a pillow. Roll your shoulders back, so you're trying to bring the shoulders down towards the mat, so you're really opening up that chest and the space in between the shoulder blades. Tuck your chin under, arms by your sides with their palms facing up towards the ceiling. And now just stay in this pose as I talk you through different parts of the body. I'm gonna try to consciously relax every part of the body from the feet all the way up to the top of the head. So relax your feet, relax your ankles, relax your calves, relax your shins, relax your knee joints, relax the back of the thighs, and relax the front of the thighs. Relax your hips all the way across the glutes. And then you're coming under and over your reproductive organs into the pelvic floor, relaxing your pelvic area. Coming up into the abdomen, relaxing the lower abdomen, so the area between the pelvis and the belly button. And then relaxing your upper abdomen, so the area between the belly button and the rib cage. Coming up into the rib cage, relaxing the rib cage, the chest, the breast, the chest bone, all the way up to the clavicles and to the top of the shoulders. And now we're going to relax the back, either side of the spine, starting from the top of the shoulders. Relax the space in between the shoulder blades and relax your shoulder blades. Relax the middle of your back and relax your lower back, traveling all the way down into the glutes, into your sitting bones, all the way to the little coccyx, which is the bone right at your tailbone. And now move your attention towards the hips and start traveling up the sides of the body, relaxing the sides of the body into the waist, the sides of the rib cage and your armpits, relaxing your armpits and relaxing your shoulder joint from the armpit, the front of the shoulder, the top of the shoulder and the back of the shoulder. Relax your upper arms, relax your elbows, relax your forearms, relax your wrists and relax your hands. Relax the back of the neck and relax the front of the neck. Relax your chin, relax your lower jaw, relax your mouth, your tongue, your upper lip, relax your nose and your cheeks all the way from the sides of the nose across the cheeks into the ears, relaxing the ears. Relax your eye sockets, relax your temples, relax your forehead, the scalp and the whole of your head. Now what I want you to do, I want you to bring your awareness to the space in between the shoulder blades, so the area that we really focused on today. And what I want you to do, I want you to start relaxing, bringing your attention into that area, and with every breath that you take, so deepen the breath again now. As you're breathing in, you're imagining this white light gathering in between the shoulder blades, and as you're breathing out, you're spreading that white light all across the shoulder blades. And with that, you're washing away any tension, bringing warmth and light and healing into that area. Just focus for the next 2 or 3 breaths. Try to bring your full attention into that area, imagining a white ball of light gathering up into the front, into the middle of the shoulder blades, and then spreading out, particularly into the areas where you felt quite a lot of tension today. And now very gently start bring your awareness back to the body. Take a deep breath in through your nose and sigh out through your mouth. Take a deep breath in through your nose, and as you sigh out through the mouth, start wiggling your toes. Take a deep breath in through your nose, and as you sigh out through your mouth, start wiggling your fingers. And then very gently, you can bring your arms over your head, bring your feet together, give yourself one long last stretch. Careful about your head. And then roll yourself onto your right side, so you're over the pillow. And then push yourself up into a cross-legged position with the help of your left hand. And you're coming up into a cross-legged position onto the mat. Bring your hands in front of your chest. Close your eyes. Remind yourself of the intention you set out at the beginning of the class. And thank you for practicing today. Namaste.